Hi, I'm Nick Ridenauer. I am a former mentor and huge fan of H2H. And I can't be there today because I'm currently on my way to Alaska, so apologies for that. But I really am excited to talk to you and to tell you why H2H is important to me and speak a little bit about the impact that it's had in my life. I initially started with H2H and started mentoring with them whenever I was a sophomore. I came to Tech like the Monday after I graduated on Saturday, and I actually met with Lisa Royce. She was the first person that I met on Arkansas Tech campus, and I met Grace, who was like 5 or 6 at the time, and they came to talk to me about H2H and just to tell my family about it. And my mom actually made the appointment, and so I was like, really? Like, really? This is what I'm doing? I'm meeting a lady at an organization at a college that my mom wants me to meet. This isn't gonna happen. And so I guess that like my freshman year, I was just I was intrigued, but I've always felt like mentoring was a big deal. And so I was really apprehensive about it. But I guess it was the summer after my freshman year. Well, it was the summer after my sophomore year. I was at a pool party with H2H, like we had taken a trip, and there were like 4 or 5 counselors, mentors, and was kind of outside of the pool, like making sure everyone was still alive and like doing what they were supposed to. And this kid from across the pool like started yelling, and I was watching the entire thing, and his name was Devontae. And he was like, those are my goggles. Those are my goggles. And this kid was like, no, they're mine. And he was like, no, those are my goggles. And so I walked over and said, whose goggles are those? And he's like, no, they're his. And I was like, why are you saying that they're yours? And he was like, I just wanted them. And so instantly from that moment, I was like, this kid has a much bigger attitude than me. And at 19 years old, like that was really hard to find. And so we clicked, and he became a huge part of my life. And looking back on it now, like in that moment, I never really thought, I didn't know that my life was changing. I didn't know that his impact on me. But I think that's what good mentoring is that whenever you can look at a relationship between a mentor and a mentee and you don't really know who's doing the mentoring, because both parties are affected. And that's what it was like for Devontae and I. I had no interest in being in education. I had no interest in really even working with kids or students after college. But through our relationship, that really kind of all changed for me. And now I work at a high school. I'm a counselor at Springdale High in Springdale. And I have 3 mentoring programs, and it's almost like going to H2H almost every single day. And still, like the relationships that are built and watching the mentoring that happens is something that affects my life every single day. And so to say, talk about H2H, it's really hard for me because it's been a huge monumental thing in my life. I speak to my seniors every year as they're graduating about Devontae. And I always tell the story about when it was Halloween and I was really sick and I couldn't go to like our annual Halloween carnival. And so he went to every one of the carnival games and all the stations and filled this huge bag up with candy and different prizes from the carnival. And then my best friend brought him to my front door, and there's a knock, and I answer it, and there's little Devontae, first grade, holding this bag full of candy and treats. And he said, here, I wanted to give this to you because you couldn't come to our party. And this was a kid who teachers were having trouble getting, like with behavior at school. And whenever he would come to H2H, half the time we weren't in programming because it was just better for us to go off by ourselves and to really work on, on things that he was struggling with. The chapel ended up becoming our safe place, and we would go there and write rap songs and play invented games and do all kinds of things together in that space. And so whenever he knocked on my front door, and handed me that bag. On top of it, there was 2 friendship bracelets. And I told him, I said, if you pick one out, you wear this all the time, I'll always think, and I'll wear one too. I'll always think of you. Anytime I see this friendship bracelet, anytime I have this. And I say the same thing to my seniors now. And they still send me snapshots and screenshots of them wearing their friendship bracelets, and I always have mine on. I've had this one. The original one is actually in my Bible now, but this one I've had on for probably the last 6 or 7 years. And it all started with just a random day at H2H. And all of that started with Lisa Roy's and a vision that she had to affect Russellville. And it's not only did it affect the children living in Russellville, it also affects Arkansas Tech students, and whenever they leave and go back to their hometowns, and it's affected my students, and it's affected me 100% and changed the course of my life. And it's through her vision and her guidance and her unwavering faith and loyalty and generosity. She always has a way of like keeping you grounded and really looking at you and seeing you, and being able to hit you like right here in everything she says. Like she always had a nickname for me. She would always say "Dog Face Boy," and not very many people could call me that. Like that's endearing to me. But she has a way of grounding you and just making you better. So Lisa, thank you for everything. My life has been completely changed by yours and by your vision, and so have my students, and hopefully so will the people that they've touched and the people that they encounter. So happy anniversary to H2H. Happy 30th. You don't look a day over 20. And thank you for everything.